Hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Formula Pod. And today we're talking all about the Japanese Grand Prix as well as the Chinese Grand Prix. Thanks to me being in India and having shitty internet, situations weren't very favorable to me. Even though I was quite brave enough to do it, but then according to Mihir's terms, I was basically the painting of which artist?
Picasso.
Picasso, yeah. I was basically Picasso's painting for some reason. But yeah, we're talking all about that one, and also we're going to explore a bit about the long forgotten Chinese Grand Prix, which is back this week. So yeah, that's pretty much today we're going to talk all about on the show. And yeah, well, joining me back again, the usual crew itself. I'm not going to name them because I'm tired of it. So yeah, welcome here and Rashati back to the show.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm good. Thank you for asking. No one asked me this question, but great, guys.
How are you, Mihir?
Just a special mention is that Mihir is doing this podcast today from the car,
Yeah,
from his fancy BMW.
yeah. No, Germans all day, any day. So you gotta sit with. I don't know what I'm saying, but German cars, Mercedes, great strategy there, guys.
We gotta talk.
Well,
We gotta talk about it. Are they
Radio.
being the new Ferraris? Are they being the new Ferraris, basically? Like a worse strategy, something raw, car being even more of a diva? Because all these while they were like, oh, the W13, W14, worse car. But then right now, the W15 is becoming even more of a worse thing. Like, I
yeah,
don't know what to even say, but like, yeah, here officially even stopped wearing Mercedes merch and started wearing McLaren merch right now. It's
currently wearing McLaren merch,
Okay,
which
so
I'm
I'm
very proud
gonna
of.
just take over from Arjun now, and I want to explain everyone this. Look, Mercedes is my number one, right? But you can only support someone if they're actually supporting you back. And as much as Arjun and me are hardcore Mercedes fans, and till even though we say, oh, we have Mercedes this, Mercedes that, and we're switching teams. I don't know if Arjun is, but I'm not switching teams, but I do have second preferences, right? And I think I'll call myself a F boy for Formula One because I can't settle for one team right now. So I'm bouncing out from Mercedes to McLaren. So the day Mercedes starts, giving me some attention the right way, I'll switch to Mercedes. But for now, I think I'll stick to McLaren till Mercedes starts freaking themselves out, and then I can go back to them saying, "Hey, what's up, cutie pie? Bye." But for
Damn,
now,
he's used a strategy not to put all eggs in one basket.
yeah, exactly.
Arjun,
You got
to be fair, you were asking me beforehand, like as to whether you want to shift to Ferrari, and you started searching for Ferrari merch. I think we've discussed this before, but he seems to be shifting as well. Each and every single time, Mercedes does not do half well.
Well, the actual reality is we don't know whether the car is being good or not. Toto Wolf is not giving me something bit more reasonable answer.
Yeah.
right.
And because on one end, Toto's like, oh, we will get everything sorted. On the other end, Lewis is like, oh, I'm done. I'm giving up on this car. Like, bro, really? Why?
I don't understand where they're going wrong, but I need them to figure it out fast given that it's Lewis's last year with Mercedes. I feel like that is also one of the reasons what drove him to shifting, because you could see every year that Lewis was driving for Mercedes, the car kept dwindling and it was not that great. So he probably thought, okay, it's time for a change. Merc is not doing that well. Might as well shift to Ferrari. And Ferrari seem to be doing really, really well this year. If they keep this up, especially when Lewis is there, it's really good for Lewis, possibly winning his next title. Who knows what's gonna happen? But I'm looking forward to Lewis shifting to Ferrari.
Well, I'm not going to put any more comment about it because um, I'm still, I am still a Mercedes fan. I still want to be a Mercedes fan, but yeah, again, that does not mean I'm not going to buy a Mercedes car. I will definitely buy a Mercedes car just to just to show how much longer I have to own a Mercedes. Um, just it, I need to even talk about pit stops. as well.
Oh, oh yeah.
I thought steak F1 Sauber kick, whatever you call that, is actually the worst. But then seems they have got a new partner as well.
In the form of a Mercedes. Again,
No, right?
I
Dude, I'm so
I
sorry.
I remember.
This really pisses me off. No, wait, shut up. You know what really pisses me off is that now people are comparing Mercedes with the most worst example ever. Like it's so annoying. Sorry, every freaking time it's gone to a point where these bossy cases have to compare themselves to a Mercedes. No, stop doing that. Mercedes was the pinnacle of Formula One. Now it's Red Bull, which is understandable. Where did Ferrari get the horses right in the first place? That's fucking crazy.
I'm
I
actually happy for Ferrari, to be honest.
Just shut up.
But
Just shut up. Stay there. You become a lawyer. Don't talk about Formula One. Okay? Blows my mind.
I'm not wearing a McLaren t-shirt.
It's comfortable. I wish Mercedes did a collab with Hollister. I would buy a lot of like. This was cheap. This is dirt cheap price for me, and I was like, you know what? There's a McLaren stamp on it. Might as well buy it just to like piss Vish off.
It is nice. No, I have a similar one. Don't worry.
We're not talking about fashionable products. We're talking about why Mercedes is being compared, and I absolutely
because
hate
apparently in this season, the top 10 quickest pit stops are only of a Red Bull and Ferrari. McLaren is even not even in the scene, in the top 10.
Yeah.
In like 4th, 11th or something. Because the fastest is 2.08 seconds, Red Bull, and the slowest in that top 10 is also Red Bull with 2.27 in Bahrain. But an interesting fact is, even though all this while Red Bull has only spent 28.95 seconds in pit stops this season, that's basically just say with 5 races, Stake F1 spent 175.78 seconds. That's roughly 3 minutes.
They extinguished like double of what the total Red Bull has in like the first race. So
So I saw the number and I was like, what on earth? Like again, Mihir Singh is the worst team. It is what do you call Sky Sports officially gave the tag. They have got allergy to pit stops.
yeah. But they did quite well this weekend, didn't they? They did
Again, 3 seconds.
3.5 seconds for Valtteri. Joe had to retire, but Valtteri had 3.5 seconds, which for stake.
Again, yeah,
was-
for stake standards, that is something decent.
Yeah.
Or hey, scratch that. Good.
Yeah, actually, it was good.
Decent. Good. It's just good. Even though, like, because again, this team is like probably I don't know whether are they planning to perform worse just so that when Audi comes up, it's just this new rising phoenix coming out of nowhere. God knows how that
Who
turns out to be.
knows? Stake is technically a new team as well.
Well, it is Sauber.
They didn't.
It is Sauber. It is Sauber. It's there in the sport for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And Alfa Romeo didn't have bad pit stops. They were having pretty
Uh-huh.
decent pit stops.
Yeah, it was not that bad actually. No, I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, leaving pit stops even aside, we have even got a driver market shake-up once again, with Fernando Alonso again re-signing for Aston Martin on a multi-year contract. So it is said to be this contract may go beyond 2026. That means he will be in his 40s as in full form as a Formula One race driver, and he may be probably wanting to break the record of the oldest Formula One driver on the grid.
I feel like he will.
And then, but then in between, he even did a comment being like, "Oh, I'm not only going to be the only one with 40 plus. Lewis also will be 40."
Lewis is gonna be there.
I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, why are you taking Lewis with you on that?
Oh man, Mihir, what are your thoughts?
Look, I'm gonna leave aside the emotional part of it and just talk about performance itself. By age, your performance levels drop. It's not that as much as you do hard work, as much as you give that training, you give 100%. As you grow older, your performance drops, and that's a very normal thing, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna bring in cricket in this, right? Virat Kohli, he is the best cricketer out there, or if not, one of the best cricketers out there, right? But people are always looking for the next because they know in the next couple of years Virat Kohli is going to retire. It's the same for these two drivers, Lewis and Alonso, right? these guys are the best at what they're doing, obviously, right? And the training, the concentration they have, it's all going to drop. It's the performance, right? Young kids have better reaction time. They learn more. They adapt more. They understand the whole concept of change. When it comes to heritage drivers, I mean, I'm calling them heritage drivers because they're driving for like at least 20 to 30 years, and this is their career. I feel that it's a very bad idea. Maybe next, having a multi-year contract is for someone who's that experienced. It's fantastic, but he's crossing his 40s,
Yeah.
right? And at certain age, he must be the fittest person ever. But again, performance drops. And I think if he does perform well, hypothetically, let's say, and I would love to see Alonso perform well and prove everyone wrong that age is just a number. Aston Martin is taking a leap of faith because if Alonso starts underperforming, then what? I mean, they could. I'm pretty sure there are clauses where Aston Martin can replace drivers, but why would it do that? I mean, he is a legendary driver. He's driven for Red Bull, Renault. I'm pretty sure Arjun knows more on Alonso, but what do you guys think? Don't you think I'm on the right track about it, the way I explained it, or do you think there's something wrong in what I said and experience plays a bigger role in terms of driving and performance and everything else?
No, you're absolutely right because like he has experience, definitely. I will not deny that. I mean, he's a two-time world champion. But at the same time, age will at one point end up catching up to him. And Aston Martin should not be forced to remove him and take his seat and give it to someone younger. Like we can't predict what's going to happen in the next couple of years or beyond that in case of his contract. But to be able to bank on him, who knows? There's a clause in his contract that says even though the contract is this long, I can retire even if I want to. This is not what Alonso's obviously showing out. But he's what? He's 42, 43.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time a driver that old was racing? Even now, when
I think it's during the black and white era.
exactly, it's so long ago, and now even though I'm hearing Vettel, like rumors of Vettel coming back, that man is in his late 30s, right? I don't want Vettel to come back, and he's taken a break clearly for a reason, right? If Alonso's staying, he's left and he's come back. Right, he's doing quite well for his age, but that's not gonna be the same 2 3 years down the lane. Age is definitely gonna catch up to him. So Mahir, I absolutely agree with you. Even though he has all the experience in the world, at one point he has to stop. We just need to know when he's gonna stop.
No, of course. So, because I was just looking through, the oldest F1 driver is Louis Chiron, who was 55 years and 292 days old. He came sixth in the 1955 Monaco Grand Prix. 1955. We're talking about 2024 right now. He's the oldest driver at 55 years of age.
That's over 7 years ago.
Wait, but Arjun, counter argument on this, right? Back then,
Mhm.
Formula One wasn't as complicated as it is right now. There's so many buttons. There's so much of radio. There's so much of stats. Back then, it was just pure
It was
racing.
a manual. It was a lot manual.
Exactly. So it was much more difficult. So I can only imagine that this guy was super old, and first of all, he had a manual gear. But he had no buttons. So all he had to do was drive, reaction time, and just coordinate with the team. Now it's also about social life, Where oh yeah, he's in his 40s, so everyone's gonna talk so much like, oh, he's 40, he's gonna only be here for a couple more years and he's going. So that really pushes a driver down, I till date, what people come up to me and be like, "Here, you're 23, man. You've lost that touch of running." And I was like, "No, I haven't. Don't put an age on something that I love to do. If I love to do something, I'll do it." And that's the same attitude Alonso's gonna go through it now. Well, everyone's gonna be like, "But you're crossing 40, retire. You have so much money now. Why do you want to do all of this?" So I'm really glad that Alonso's doing this, but I'm also thinking this in a more company
Longer
organizational way, where Aston Martin is actually, because
Yeah.
obviously they can invest so much money in him, right?
Mhm.
So I'm kind of deciding which way I'm actually going down for Alonso's way to prove everyone wrong. But I'm also thinking for a fact that they're gonna spend so much of money on just one driver who is very experienced, very old, but also the age might be a factor of underperforming.
Well, I want to just give like a count on that. Even though, say, Alonso being old, still he is the oldest driver at the current generation of Formula One,
Right.
there are certain tricks which Alonso only can pull.
Yeah.
Certain tricks of the book, not any modern Formula One driver can pull it off. Alonso being that old, like literally when we were discussing the Jeddah Grand Prix, we were saying Ollie Beerman was actually just what do you call, he's 18, and
Yeah.
Alonso that time was won what, his second or third race basically. So you
Yeah.
realize like it's that, like again the difference is that much huge.
Hmm.
So back from then and right now, he still tries to implement the strategies and things, and everything is a lot different.
Yeah.
Again, the cars are improved. Like he's seen what, 3 or 4 iterations of Formula One cars.
Yeah,
So
he
that
absolutely has.
itself is like one big thing. And again, the performance bit, agreed. There may be issues where he might not be able to pull the throttle that quick and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's Alonso, and he is pushing to his absolute limits.
Hmm.
So yeah, just have to say that bit though.
I do agree. I hope he does well, honestly. He obviously now at this point with Aston, he has a few years with him. And I hope that he proves everybody wrong and also proves right to Aston Martin that they made the right choice in actually selecting him and giving him a chance to go forward with it. And I think we need to talk about, I don't know, Carlos again, because that man was so good this race as well. Okay, not just Carlos, but both the Ferraris as well were really good this race. And obviously, with the exception of Red Bull, again, doing well, Max Verstappen coming back, whatever, P1, it's fine. So, but I feel like Carlos is, as of now, see, if it weren't for Max's DNF, obviously, probably Max would have been on the podium as well. But Carlos is the only driver till date to have 100% podium this one. I do not want that to end. I am very happy with Carlos being on the podium right now.
Well, at least he's got the consistency of coming up on the podium. It's
Yeah.
not just Max Verstappen.
It just shocks me that he's without a
With
seat.
another team, again, it's always good when a second team comes into the mix.
Yeah.
And again, happy for Carlos to be coming more often because, again, that in a way, like, see, because there's this bit where we talk about market valuation of a particular team. With Mercedes market valuation increased because Lewis Hamilton was coming constantly onto podium, and again, that actually increased Mercedes's value. Even though Ferrari is the most valued F1 team,
Yeah.
still that again increases his value as a driver.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say he ends up getting even more bigger and more like huge budget contracts.
Yeah.
But
But
again, is also a free agent at the moment. So
that's exactly what I was gonna ask, because the thing is, I've been seeing almost everywhere that he has so many people coming up to him and asking him. I think I saw a post where I heard that Mercedes is trying to get him like on a 1+1 contract. He wants to sign a 2-year contract, but I've been reading around quite a while. I mean, quite a bit, that Mercedes wants to sign him, and now that Alonso's gone and off the market right now, he has an extra chance probably to get in. And it feels weird that Carlos is the one that's on the podium each and every single time, and he doesn't have a seat for next year. Obviously, this is him proving that he deserves a seat, and so many people will be behind him. Okay, Perez doesn't have a contract next year, right? No, I mean,
Perez's bit, he actually came out public saying that in a month's time we'll know what's the case.
I honestly, Perez and Max work well together. I wouldn't mind Perez and Max remaining together because besides what happened 2 years back in Brazil and whatnot, they're still good teammates.
Hmm.
They're competitive enough to a point where they work well together. Perez is the one driver in like history since Max has started that has not clashed as much as any other driver has with Max.
Well, he's a team player at the end of the day, so
Yeah.
he does what's good for the team. It's more like how Valtteri Bottas was when he was at Mercedes.
Yeah, true.
But I just need to shift focus on to Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh,
I don't know what's
I
wrong with the
mean,
guy. He has requested for a chassis change. Now he is going to get a new chassis for the Chinese Grand Prix.
mhm.
But the Visa Cash App RB team technical director says that's not going to make any improvement in his performance.
Mhm.
But I just want to open the floor for discussion. I mean, here you have been seeing Daniel Ricciardo doing his prime time onwards in Red Bull. Like, his he's also got a very particular style of driving with the late braking and all those bits. Like, could you just like shed some light on Daniel Ricciardo and like his past and right now? What do you think that kind of like major difference which has come up?
Okay, so a very good overview about how Daniel Ricciardo was and what we were expecting him to be. Daniel Ricciardo was not just a funny guy; he was also at his prime time with Red Bull. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the only driver that time who was sitting in the Red Bull seat, partnering with, well, racing with Max Verstappen. And Ricciardo was getting along with everyone. He's the type of driver who would
Mhm.
race with you, but also would be friends with you. And at the end of the day, when you race with him, he'll come shake your hand, and he's a very nice driver. He was, I think, if I didn't watch Formula One at a very young age, and I started watching it later on in my life, I would support Daniel Ricciardo, 100%. I think Daniel Ricciardo is one of the most lovable, coolest, some girls say cutest driver out there as well. And he was the best. I think once he stepped down from Red Bull, we all knew it was going downhill from there. You do not. I'm pretty sure if he was still in Red Bull, things would have changed. He would have been in Sergio Perez's place, driving and doing so much better. He was so like I think his whole personality was Red Bull because it matches so well. His personality and Red Bull goes so well together. He was going out there. He wasn't scared of losing because he was so focused on winning. He didn't care about losing at all, and that's how a driver should be, and that's what he was. And as soon as he dropped the sign from Red Bull, even Mr. Honor himself, who was like, "What is this guy doing?" I was shocked, and I was like, Daniel. But I know why Daniel did that. Daniel was like, maybe I have so much of experience. I'm gonna take the experience and give this to a team that is not doing that well. Hence Renault. Renault engines were horrible. They were so unreliable that time. The day Daniel Ricciardo signed, everyone on the comment section, everyone around the world started tweeting, "It's the downhill for Ricciardo," and I absolutely agree with that. And we all knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's struggling. He's still relevant. He's struggling. He doesn't come on the limelight anymore. It's only Max and Carlos and Lando Norris and Oscar, and they deserve to be there because they've worked really hard, right? And I think, and not that Christian Horner did give Ricardo a chance, and he was only 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds slower than Max Verstappen in the Red Bull car, and he said, you know what? He still has the racing charisma. He's not the best right now. He's a bit rusty, but we can still take him. So that's why he started driving for AlphaTauri now, Cash App Red Bull. So a statement from Lewis Hamilton from his book. He said that one signature can change anything. That's exactly what it is here, because it really means on fans as well as contracts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, like timing was something which wasn't his best friend, I would say, because again,
Everyone.
um, it was so evident in the very first season of Drive to Survive
Hmm.
that he was actually feeling threatened when Max Verstappen was his
Yeah,
teammate.
Yeah.
you could actually see it.
Because when he was racing with Sebastian Vettel, everything was cool and chill, everything was fine. But
Hmm.
then when this what do you call less than 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid comes on to the the equal machinery, ends up playing the most disastrous games he could play with.
Right.
Well, you end up having that bit of ego which comes in. Now, I personally feel it was just the ego that just made him basically decide the other way around. And then he didn't have the faith on Honda because Alonso called the GP2 engines. Well, in
Mhm.
fact, they were proper Formula One engines itself. And plus, but it's again, and it was not that Renault. He mentioned earlier Renault was having unreliable engines,
Yeah.
but they were still third or fourth in the constructors. And right now, don't even get me started.
Alpine
They
this year
were,
is.
they are now the Haas's. Haas improved.
I don't know what's going on with the Alpines, to be honest.
Look, I'll tell you why. Alpine also, I found it very weird that Alpine was the top three cars to launch. I wanted them to take some time, take some time, do some more research for
Mm-hmm.
for launching their cars. They were third, right? I think so.
Yeah.
It was third. But they did it very early, and I really think it was a bad decision. I think Alpine should have done more research on how they do things. The drivers they've selected is phenomenal. All Formula One drivers, all 20 of them, are outstanding drivers. Some are stupid, some are
Mm-hmm.
nepotism, but we can leave that aside.
Do you such as Nikita Mazepin?
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, and obviously Mr. Stroll himself. Oh boy.
Of course.
Yeah, which dude would go for a skiing trip right before the race? I'm sure.
He's Canadian, dude.
I don't
Skiing
care.
is part of the thing.
Arjun,
One
when
time
you are
skiing,
when
one
you are
time
a world
biking.
champion driver, why the hell would you take a risk and go skiing and break
No,
both?
We've seen
we-
it with Michael
I
Schumacher.
said he's Canadian, so skiing is part of their thing. Maple syrup is part of their thing. Like all those stuff are part of a Canadian.
So
Like
you're
of Lance, not.
no, no, no,
I'm not even going to use his
wait,
actual name. I'm going
wait,
to use the proper name, Lance Strolowicz.
Arjun, wait.
Oh God.
You're telling me since Lewis Hamilton's British, he should go play some rugby right before his race. You're telling
Well,
me that
fun
if
fact.
no wait, if Dhruv Jhunjhunwala from F2 was like, you know what, I have my race next week, but you know what, I don't mind playing some fucking kabaddi or cricket or
Or hockey.
have really spicy food just to kick over it because I'm brown. And once I go down once I'm brown, you never go back down. Why? Ex-
Mihir, realize this. His dad owns the team. He can pull any sort of shit on the team.
Last year, beginning of what happened? He goes, he crashes, he's out. He could not race the first race.
No, and also realize this. If he did that in Red Bull, literally in matter of races, Helmut Marko will just be like, bro, fuck
Done.
off.
Bye. I don't need you in my seat anymore. Exactly. He has that advantage because his dad is there. Again, I'm gonna bring up the Aston Martins once more, like we did talk about Alonso. We need to talk about him as well because Lance Stroll always takes advantage of the fact that his father owns the team. Okay? He has major shareholders. He will use it to his extent. But I don't understand why he squanders it every single time. If you've given that chance, if you've given that opportunity to do something, why do you want to risk it by going skiing or biking or whatever? First of all, on the track, you say you're struggling with the car. Turn 1 and turn 2 were the only parts of the entire track last week where it was working for him. Everything else in the Aston Martin was dominated by Alonso. Alonso was only dominant in turn 1 and turn 2. How on earth can Lance Stroll have a seat without even... Why? Why did Alonso have to resign? Why on earth does Lance Stroll have a better seat at this point? Because Alonso is clearly the better driver. It's just that Lance Stroll has the advantage of his father owning the team. Simple. He can do exactly whatever he wants to do. No one's going to stop him.
Agreed.
That's a known fact. Mihir, Arjun, both of you wholeheartedly agree with me on this. I know that for a fact, and I'm pretty sure almost everyone else who's listening to this will agree with me on this.
no,
It's the
just
fact that his
you
father
say I
owns the
disagree.
team that gives him the opportunity.
You say I disagree with you.
I don't think you do.
I do.
I'm taking it like,
strolling his way through life with his father's money in his back.
oh yes.
Like again, Lance Stroll is also someone. Even though he trains hard and does his bit, he's a Formula One driver. All those agreed. Yada yada yada. He's got his bit.
Yeah.
But I've only seen him on the podium when it was in Aston Martin when it was called Racing Point.
Mm-hmm.
And with the older regulations, I've only seen him like once or twice on the podium. Otherwise, never in my life I have seen him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, leaving Aston Martin aside, let's actually talk about the Chinese Grand Prix coming up this week. It's again coming back after not one, not two, but 5 years. And in the last Chinese Grand Prix, what all happened? I'll tell you. Formula One celebrated its 1000th race in China, in Shanghai. Lewis Hamilton only had 5 World Drivers' Championships. 5. Max Verstappen only had 5 wins. Only 5 wins to his name. Alonso retired from Formula One. Because why not?
Couldn't?
Yeah, Albon, Norris, and Russell were in their rookie season. In fact, it was just their third race of their first season.
Yeah.
Mercedes had executed an amazing double stack, Hamilton and Bottas, where Bottas really didn't have to slow down any further than he was required to slow on the pit lane. Pierre Gasly was still in Red Bull. He was a Red Bull driver. Leclerc and Sainz were yet to win a race.
No.
The Chinese driver Zhou Guanyu was in Formula 3. Yuki Tsunoda was in Formula 3.
This is interesting one.
Yeah, so last time all these bits happened in the Chinese Grand Prix.
Who knew? There's a lot of changes. I'm actually excited for it because the Chinese Grand Prix is not a circuit that I've ever seen.
It's an interesting track. Like I have driven on sim on the Chinese Grand Prix track. Like on it's the Shanghai Audi Autodrome. That's what it's called, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But here, give us some bit of an insight about the Chinese Grand Prix track.
Sure. Race is on the 21st April, which is so convenient for me because I'm still gonna be in the country. I'm flying on the 26th. So obviously the Chinese track is all about straight lines, fast curves, and one massive breaking point, which is at turn 14, which is crazy because I've never liked the Chinese track for some reason. Not because I'm not being racially biased or anything. I just generally feel like there's a lot of unnecessary turns and swirls and here and there, which is kind of frustrating. But that means there's going to be a lot more focus on straight lines because there's so many turns, and turns aren't usually the best for all drivers, but straights are. Now, the whole
I like
track,
this track.
yeah, no, if you look into it, viewers, listeners, if you are listening to this right now, I want you to go and search up the Chinese Shanghai International Circuit. You will understand what I mean by there are straight lines, but equally there are so many curves. I think the most dangerous curve is 14, where they have a really long straight, then there's a breaking point, and then at turn 16 they have obviously the main where the race starts from 16 back to 1, 1 to 3, 1 turn 1 2 3 are pretty decent, but then turn 3 to turn 5 you can see some drivers speed up. You can see I think most of the crashes are gonna be in the first section of the race.
Yeah. The first sector looks very interesting, honestly.
Yeah, and then my next prediction for crashes would be around 11. So that's
11, 12, yeah.
right at the beginning of sector 3.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to the stats, it's gonna be 56 laps, and the whole race is the length of 5.4 kilometers. And Michael Schumacher, the legend himself, has the fastest lap record of 1 minute 32 minutes 0.238 seconds. So I think the Chinese Grand Prix does have a lot of history, and honestly, Michael Schumacher being Michael Schumacher himself, we all miss him, we all love him, and I would not like to see Max Verstappen's face replace that name anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I like to keep it, Michael.
Yeah, no, not Michael. Anyone but Red Bull. I don't mind even Stroll being up there.
Sure you do.
Oh, no!
I would like to keep it, Michael Schumacher. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like I was just looking through so on the very first Chinese Grand Prix, Rubens Barrichello actually took the pole position.
Oh.
And yeah, like Michael Schumacher put that lap record of 1:32.238 on the very first Chinese Grand Prix in 2004.
Mhm.
That is a lap record which is nearly 20 years old
Yeah.
in a Ferrari.
Who knows? Maybe because this is the last time they raced was 2019. Hamilton won the race. Could Hamilton win again?
Well, again, but there is some sort of conflict within the drivers, though. So the Chinese Grand Prix will see the very first Formula One sprint week.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
means it's been 5 years since the drivers have driven on the Chinese track, and idly say in the Formula One driver list, if I'm not wrong, Nico Hulkenberg, Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas, probably 10 or 15 drivers at the best would be only driven on this track.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And in that 15, only probably say 7 of them have driven here more than once. So people have been asking, okay, free, you only have one free practice and then you're straight going on to a sprint quali and a sprint race.
What made them think that China could be a good start for the sprint weekend?
Well, again, I don't have to say it. I don't have to say it. But here, go on. You got to say it, so say it.
Because everything is made in China.
Wait, sorry, I didn't get you. What?
Nothing.
He said because everything is made in China.
Good job, Mihir. Good job. Good job.
I didn't get that.
Yeah. But then, according to Formula One website, the best places to to watch Formula One in China are between turns 14 and 15.
Mhm.
Ooh, the interesting turn.
14s and 15s again. It's the end of a DRS zone, and it is the third last and the second last corners, and then you're back onto a full straight. Again, as Mihir said, it is a very bleh kind of a track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I think next week you guys are gonna get a fresh take on. You guys have obviously seen the 2019 season. I haven't. I got it in 2021. Thank you,
Mhm.
Arjun, for that. You have enlightened me, and I don't know what I would do without F1. I was watching cricket and I thought of F1, but but since it's the new track for me, I'm gonna be quite excited to see what the Chinese Grand Prix holds. I hope it's not the same as it was for Lando in 2019 because he DNF'd. And Albon was actually faster than George.
Well, we gotta see, and because George was in a Williams, so
Yeah.
screw that.
To be
Albon
honest,
in Toro Rosso, and Toro Rosso was a thing back then, 5 years back, and
Mhm.
Lando was in a McLaren,
yeah.
still in a McLaren.
McLaren has come far. They've come quite far.
Still in a
It's not the same car that they
McLaren.
had in 2019.
He's still in the McLaren. But anyways, we also need to talk about the new race calendar for 2025. That's out, and for the first time in quite a while, Bahrain is not the season starter. It's Australia.
Australia.
It's
We're back at it again.
and even I liked it. They even thought it geographically pretty well. Australia, China, Japan, then comes Bahrain, Saudi Arabia,
Mhm.
just so that it doesn't clash with the holy month of Ramadan. Yeah, so it starts off with Australia, China, Japan, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Miami, Emilia Romagna, Monaco, Spain, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom.
Austria.
And the season's first half ends at Belgium at Spa. And then they take a short break and then they still continue in Europe. But again, still, I am confused why Miami and Canada could have basically been clubbed together.
Yeah, but and I also don't understand the last 3 races. Why are they all over the place?
Well, that's also another thing which a lot of people discussed. Las Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, all of them are happening. That's basically a triple header.
A week after the other. It makes no sense. These drivers are gonna kill themselves doing this.
And no, realize this: Las Vegas to Doha, the amount of jet lag.
It's gonna be huge.
Like,
But I think the one takeaway is that Vegas happens on a Saturday.
Yes.
So that kind of works, but it doesn't you can't
No, because
cure
I,
jet
I,
lag in
I
a week.
didn't like the other bit of the trust, the track, because again, they go Hungary, Netherlands, not Monaco, sorry, what's this thing called? Monza, and then Baku. And then from Baku, they go all the way to Singapore, listen, Austin, Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas. I'm like, that's fine. But then post Las Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, if they kept like a 2 week, like just a week break, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
they didn't.
You can extend the session. I'm fine. Extend the season. I'm more than happy.
Yeah, you're
But
They
then
happy.
start quite later
I
this. They
realized
start quite later this year, the next year as well.
because they even have to finish it off because after the race, of the full season, they have a post season testing.
Hmm.
And
They
then
start quite late though, don't they?
they do, but then again, this is the time where they get their breaks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they need to develop the cars, right? Even though
Yeah.
they will develop it over the season, they still need to. It's not like in 3 months you get like a new Formula One car.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's on and on. So they would need that kind of a gap. And also, Formula One celebrates 75 years of existence next year. So
Oh,
kudos to
interesting.
them. And according to FIA, it's going to be epic.
Let's hope it is.
I don't believe in FIA anymore. Just letting you know. I think FIA is a joke. I think FIA can only be taken seriously when they understand a few things about how racing. I mean, they do understand that. Don't get me wrong. But after the whole Michael Massey thing, where they actually made horrible choices, Abu Dhabi, I
Of
have lost
course.
for FIA.
No, for some reason, even keeping FIA aside, I just watched like one race of what do you call Formula E?
Mhm.
Formula E is interesting for some reason.
Yes.
Formula E is like having what, five drivers, five different winners. Even though I was rooting for Mahindra, but Mahindra didn't end up getting points at all. I was like, bro, points where? What?
I
What
think
you
Mahindra
doing?
making their Scorpios and XUV. Don't come to Formula One, man.
And literally Mahindra is like the Haas for sorry, scratch Haas, the Alpine
Alpines.
of Formula E. Because Jaguar is doing a fab job, Andretti is doing a
Yeah.
fab job, Tag Heuer does, Nissan does a fab job.
Mm-hmm.
Even though their EVs are, I don't know what even to say. But at the end of the day, they're doing some stuff, and Formula like I don't. I think like Formula ECU said like if it's not Max Verstappen winning the championship, he will donate the money to charity.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen, and he's going to save us 250,000. He's going to save that off. 250 quid is going to save it for sure, unless more brake failures come up. Then that's a different story.
Uh,
Well, that's not going to happen, but
you never know.
if yeah, but probably. But yeah, on that not so terrible disappointment, thank you so much for tuning on to another episode of Formula Pod. Please do like, share, and subscribe our podcast. Our podcasts are available across quite a lot of platforms. I'm not going to say all platforms because some platforms are diminishing, but quite a lot of platforms. And yeah, please do follow us. Please do support us on our Instagram page, formula.pod, because your support always encourages us to create more and more podcasts. And I'll probably end up getting some nice free seats at interesting tracks. So yeah, please. And yeah, thank you so much once again. And we all will be on the very next episode live at a proper studio because normally we record our podcasts virtually. But the next episode, we all are meeting face to face. So probably you will see a lot more banter, a lot more argument than this
Oh yeah, for
next
sure.
week. Until then, this is the entire crew of Formula Pod signing off. Goodbye.